we have a safe system. However, we do have work to do on an ongoing basis every day to continue to work in improving safety here at the agency. And it is our priority, day in and day out. I think it also bears repeating that I'm optimistic that that we can correct whatever miscommunication that created this situation, and that we are working diligently with the CPU staff to address their concerns. Clearly, the MTA values the CPUC's expertise, and we take their comments very seriously and look forward to working with them to make Muni the very best system that it can be.
My name is David Reardon. I'm a Muni operator, and I belong to a public service union, and I'm proud of it. Neither the wages or pensions of myself nor my co-workers are causing any economic problem. The economic crisis, like my phony bonus, is a scam. Look around you. San Francisco is awash in wealth for certain people. Even today, the Cron says Gavin Newsom is the wealthiest elected politician in the state. In November '09 and again in May 10, Muni service was cut and the schedule adjusted. Our union instituted a driver safety work the rule campaign because we knew the operators would be under pressure to break the rules. I followed the rules strictly for 5 weeks and was attacked at all levels of the system. The corner supervisor ridiculed me and rode me up. Central Control chastised me. My division superintendent gave me 3 warning letters and then another 3 suspension letters. I had to go to a neutral arbitrator to have these phony charges thrown out. At no level of management did anyone try to engage me or understand or appreciate what was happening. Their only approach then and today is punitive. Contrary to what Ford says, and we know he doesn't tell the truth or pay taxes, safety is not the #1 priority at Muni. The #1 priority at Muni is the budget and the schedule. For example, the 2 rules that get very commonly broken, you've seen this. Coaches are supposed to keep a 1-block spacing. That's in the rule book. No passengers on the other side of the yellow line. That's in the rule book. That's a federal law. It's commonly broken with the complicity of management because those rules affect the safety. Safety at Muni is an economic matter. Without adequate money for people, systems, and equipment, safety lags. I upheld safety and was attacked because it affects the schedule. We Muni operators are affecting basically a factory speed up. I use this miscellaneous form to inform my supervisor and ask for clarity on safety, and my supervisor ignored this form. Safety is not #1 at Muni.
Well, I don't even know where to start. But first of all, we need to clean house. And we need to clean house fast, starting with yourselves. Because the negligent, poor behavior in respects to the repair and the upkeep of this system is ridiculous. I mean, we out there every day driving these coaches with defects, defective tires, damper failing lights coming on these articulated coaches, and it's ridiculous that you guys compromise safety for service. And we need to address this ASAP. As recently as over the weekend, an ETI coach blew a compressor and knocking off the door. Now just imagine if an operator is back there putting up the poles and that compressor decides they want to blow and that door comes off and hit that operator and kills that operator. You're responsible for that. And it's your job, Mr. Chairman, to ensure that the MTA employees behind me are doing their job and making sure that the system is safe, adequately running, efficient. So it's time for you to take a stand and be responsible for your actions as chairman to let these people know if they're not cutting the job, they need to leave. And need to put somebody in here that knows what they're doing, that has the public interest and the safety and the well-being of the workers at hand. the system starts with you, Mr. Nolan, and you have to address these issues as soon as possible. You need to come and find out.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Rafael Cabrera, Retaliation. You know, I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad the CPUC stepped to the plate, because these are some of the issues we've been talking about it. I have spoke to you about it. Finally, and I'm still questioning, is this the complete report? I think there's more to it. I mean, right now they're just giving you a sketch, something that could be fixable, quote unquote. Then if you look at your page number 5 from 2008, and they will be finished until March 31st, 2011. I mean, come on, let's be realistic. Some of these issues should be taken care at the time. Why do we always wait until the last minute when we get a deteriorating equipment and lousy working conditions? Safety is number one priority. It should be always a forefront from all of us, regardless what we think about each other. Safety, safety, safety. But what do we defer some of these maintenance projects? Why? I mean, I don't see the reasoning why we have to defer some of this. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you've noticed in some of that CPUC report, there are some cracked rails out there, loose bolts. I mean, that's dangerous, folks. This is not a TWU against the MTA. No, this is an issue that we all need to sit down and work this issue. Safety, safety. Now, you got defective lights out there. Now, who gets the blame? My members, you operators. We the scapegoats for anything that comes into play. So, therefore, I am so glad that this report came out, but I don't think this is the actual report. I wish you'd take time and read the whole report, and you'll see how deficiencies we have in this at Metro. Not only Metro, it's all over the other divisions. We're talking about the CPUC, but I will bring you back in the next time about the things that is going on in the bus and divisions. Thank you.
There seems to be a real disconnect in terms of the communication. The other concern that I have in mind too is that when you look at the number of, I guess you would say, defects that they're finding, the question that comes to mind for me is why does it take an audit to let us know that we have defects that are out there? Right? So internally, what we have in place to just make sure that we have the proper oversight and we have the right safety committees with union involvement, looking from the driver standpoint to address some of these issues. All right. So that's my concern on the findings. I am disappointed in how the communication came out of this.
How can you talk about safety without the operators? It's illogical. These guys aren't operating the system. They're sitting at 1 South Van Ness. We're operating the system.
And what were you surprised about the fact that they didn't address the issue of retaliation or health and safety of workers?
No, I wasn't surprised because that's a common practice among management, and right now there's too few operators that are struggling. So it's easy for the SF MTA to isolate those of us who are struggling and do their dog and pony show like they do. I wasn't surprised. I was surprised when 2 or 3 of the board members said that we should be involved in the safety procedure.
That's a radical idea.
It was very radical. I was very surprised. These guys are hostile to the drivers. They're hostile to the operators. Hostile. That's their thing. And I brought that up to Mr. Mason. You heard in my presentation, I tried to follow all the rules for safety, and I was retaliated against. At all levels of management, I was attacked for trying to be safe. And I brought that up to Mr. Mason. I have some evidence I presented to him. He looked a bit uncomfortable, but we'll see.
So what you're saying is you did your job properly, you followed the rules, and as a result of that,
I was retaliated against. 3 warning letters, 3 suspension letters. I had to go all the way to step 4 grievance to have a neutral arbitrator throw that stuff out.
and what does that mean to other drivers who try to deal with health and safety?
Well, my experience is that the number one priority at Muni is the schedule and the budget. and the drivers are vilified in the newspaper, they're vilified by management, and so they are under tremendous pressure to break the rules and adhere to the schedule and hold on to their job, because they're constantly told, you're the problem, we'll take your job, we'll attack your family.
The OSHA complaints that that have been levied against us, we've fixed those problems. Has there been any retaliation on the operators?
Yes, they have.
He's saying yes, I say no because I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen any retaliation or disciplinary action against drivers who've made health and safety complaints?
That is not allowed. That is against the whistleblower law.
It is against the law. I agree. You cannot retaliate against people.
I don't even. Well, let me look into that then, because that is a no-no from my perspective. If I don't know about the issues that he's just describing, I can't address it, and I can't address it to you now. I have to look into it. But I do know that when a Cal OSHA complaint is sent to us, we handle them immediately. Okay, and we do not know who the employees are that contact Cal OSHA. That is confidential between the employee and Cal OSHA.
Okay, what do you say about, though, the maintenance problems, that these equipment is not operating properly and workers have been injured on it and it's not being properly maintained?
That's something that I have to see something in writing saying an employee was injured due to lack of maintenance on a vehicle. So I'll look into that.